Hello friends! We begin with the fierce aerial battles taking place over Ukraine, where in this case we see a Mirage 2000-5 donated by France, intercepting a Russian jet-powered drone. These have started to appear in greater numbers in recent weeks, and due to their speed, are more difficult to intercept. In this other case, an F-16 fighter bomber shoots down another jet-powered Shahed with its 20mm Vulcan cannon. While Ukrainian fighter jets are perfectly capable of carrying out these missions, spending their flight hours on this type of task is highly inefficient. However, until there is a low-cost response to this threat, the defenders have no choice but to send their valuable fighters to destroy Ivan's drones. At the front, a Mosquito drone spots that the invaders have built a nest in the basement of a house, inside which they have installed a wood-burning stove with its own chimney. To warmly welcome the new neighbors, the defenders choose to send a gift through the chimney. If they cooked something on the stove, it likely turned out very spicy. I think that pilot must be an ace at mini-golf. On the front lines, operators from the Lazar group of the Ukrainian National Guard destroyed a Russian BM-27 Uragan multiple rocket launcher system near Velika Novosilka. The Lazar group mapped the firing positions used by the Russian Uragan in the sector and maintained constant surveillance. Their patience paid off when they located the system while it was still heading to its launch position with a full load of rockets. 2 direct hits from grenades dropped by bomber drones of the unit put the vehicle into party mode. The video ends with one of Lazar Group's favorite traditions, landing a drone directly on the destroyed Russian equipment. The BM-27 Uragan is a Soviet-designed system capable of launching devastating area bombardments with a range of up to 35 kilometers, which is why it remains a high-value target for Ukrainian forces. Others who did not have a happy ending were 2 Grad multiple rocket launchers from the Horde, which were firing salvos of 122mm rockets. The moment their position was discovered by a Ukrainian Shark-type reconnaissance drone, which called for a strike of artillery with fragmentation ammunition, which caused a massive secondary detonation of the rockets that were being reloaded in the launcher. Upon re-examining the area, it was confirmed that 1 Grad had been completely vaporized, and the second was severely damaged in the same position. I wonder what happened to the crew. In the campaign of attacks against Ivan's logistics centers, the Mosquitoes visited one of the largest logistics centers still left to wildberries during the early morning of August 3rd, the one located in the village of Kryastovo-Savinsky district, Vladimir region, approximately 150 kilometers east of Moscow and more than 580 kilometers from the border with Ukraine, the one that has an area of 175,000 square meters. The FP-1 drones managed to damage a large part of the extensive complex, although the facilities were not completely destroyed. This complex, designed to store and manage more than 120 million packages, constitutes a key node for the flow of goods between the Moscow region and the central, northwestern, and northern areas of European Russia. More than 200 firefighters were deployed to fight a fire that consumed approximately 100,000 square meters of the facilities, the equivalent of about 14 soccer fields. Images obtained on August 4th revealed that the facilities suffered structural damage, but only part of the warehouse appears to have been completely destroyed. Apparently, a second visit by the Mosquitoes will be necessary. The one that won't make it is the Wild Berries Center, located in the village of Novosemikino, Samara region, which burned down completely, leaving only the facility's offices standing. That's good, so they can pay the workers severance at the facility. Zip. Absolutely nothing was left standing from these facilities. In the north of Mordor, during the early morning of August 4th, another attack by Ukrainian Mosquitoes hit a vast logistics complex of 154,000 square meters, operated by wild berries. In the town of Krasnivor, approximately 40 kilometers southeast of St. Petersburg, which caused a large-scale fire in one of the newest and largest distribution centers in Russia, completed earlier this year, and with the capacity to store more than 57 million items. At this rate, it would be better for Ivan to start encouraging bartering among his orcs, since the campaign of attacks on this type of facility has already consumed half of Wild Berries' facilities. The next one on the list is ozone. Speaking of the FP1 mosquitoes that are carrying the weight of this campaign, Firepoint presented a video to show what's inside their mosquitoes and what the difference is between the different systems. First of all, we can see the Deep Strike FP1, which has an operational range of 3,400 kilometers with a maximum payload of 60 kilograms. Meanwhile, the FP2 for medium-range strikes offers a payload of up to 200 kilograms with a range of up to 700 kilometers. Both systems have a wingspan of 6 meters, a maximum speed of 205 kilometers per hour, and a cruising speed between 140 and 180 kilometers per hour. The launch is carried out using a solid rocket booster from fixed platforms or mobile systems based on trucks, allowing for rapid deployment in just 18 minutes. The exponential increase in the range of these systems is due to the redesign of the wings, which can now also carry integrated additional fuel tanks. This, along with enhancements to the aircraft's structure, engine efficiency, the guidance system's resistance to electronic warfare, and modular warhead integration, have resulted in improved performance in their attacks on high-value targets, such as the Omsk oil refinery in early July, which is 3,400 kilometers from the Ukrainian border. Firepoint has increased the production of these systems to approximately 200 FP1 and FP2 fuselages per day, and they are working to further increase those numbers, as these systems currently account for the majority of Ukraine's deep strike missions against Russia. The Cameroonian-flagged Ro-Ro cargo ship Nadezhda was attacked by naval drones on Monday, about 20 nautical miles from the Russian port of Novorossiysk, suffering considerable damage in a fire that forced the crew members to abandon it, who were rescued by Russian naval units. The ship is operated by a Turkish company and was heading from Novorossiysk to the Turkish port of Samsun. The risk of new drone attacks has prevented firefighting and recovery operations in the area. The ship's captain reported that between 6 and 7 drones took part in the attack. This incursion is part of the blockade that Ukrainian forces are trying to impose on Russian ports in the Black Sea, an operation that has in turn been answered by the invaders with airstrikes against ships approaching Ukrainian ports on the coast of the Odessa region. In the same area, the crew of another ferry, this time full of trucks, had a close encounter with a Ukrainian drone very similar to the Horde's Shahed drones, which passed just a few meters from the vessel, leaving the crew on edge. They were lucky this time, because clearly the Mosquito aborted the attack at the last moment. Maybe the vessel was Turkish or from another neutral country. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels, where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel.